now wait a second. Is this round 15 or 16?
Oh my goodness, Will, you're killing me. You just told us you'd
It's
figured this out.
16, right? I think. Okay. Or no, it's 15. Ah, man.
There you go.
All right. I'm getting there, everybody. Okay, Austin going first, and he is not going to play Bettage, but he'll play something else, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll see.
So Joel confirms what I thought to be the case in this case. Yeah,
okay.
if you're Austin, I'd much rather go second with that rack.
Oh yeah. That's certainly the odds of playing baguette or some other nice food word or gettable or something like that are pretty good. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Punit is sitting on a pretty good rack of his own. It looks like after begat for Austin, which looks like a pretty reasonable play to start. I can't imagine what else I would play. Punit's going to play Goonier, and he will strike first in this game. So Austin is in first place going into this game. Do we actually know? Hold on, I'll check this myself. We don't need to go to the don't need to go to the standings. I'm curious to see whether Punit won his previous game.
No, because he would have been 10-4 as well. So it looks like Dr. Bing beat him. Looks like he will probably play Goonier, and he will promptly get bingoed on by Austin.
In response, yeah. So Austin opening the game, Punit's going to bingo, Austin's going to bingo back, and we will just have to find out what the players draw after that. Will it be bingos aplenty, or will somebody get slown? Oh, slown, that's not a valid word. Will somebody be slowed up by weaker tiles?
Now, the anagram of Sloan is a fantastic word. I should say there are 3 of them, but the one that is actually
swollen.
Swoln.
Yeah, swoln. Right. Swole has been added to the dictionary too. So that is like one of those, like, Collins has a lot of archaic words, and then also a lot of words that are too cutting edge even for NWL, and swole is one of those, I think. So, all right. So let's see. What will Austin play? I'm sure a double-double or something. Through the eye, I have to imagine. Not sure what else there might be. So, wait.
Goonier?
It's chat. What?
I did tell you earlier on when you asked me for the lowdown on Austin. If he has any weak spot, it's some of the higher probability or smaller words he sometimes does give up some points on.
I'm stunned by that. I feel like that's a quite I don't know, maybe that's my NWL background. I feel like I've seen that word a 1,000 times.
Yeah, so I will, as Jalopik actually points out, Austin, one of his best friends is Jesse Day. They are 2 people who are actually pretty outspoken about challenging quite
I mean, we were talking about that, how it feels like players don't challenge enough. So if anything, in 5-point challenge, you should challenge more than you should, right? Like, I know that doesn't make any sense syntactically, but like, you should challenge anytime you have any kind of remote lack of confidence in a word that gets played. It's only 5 points. There's not that many games that are decided by that margin. So the upside of getting a word challenged off is so high compared to the downside of giving extra 5 points. Yeah. So totalize the play for Austin here, going to 100 points even after this bingo.
Yeah, a couple hellos here to Keith N as well as Beth Mix, 2 people who are clearly not afraid to
wait
themselves.
Brownest. Wait a second. Brownest.
Oh, it still fits.
It
still fits. Oh, Punit. You know he's looking like he knows Bistro and Brownest is what it could be.
Wow. Brownest still fits. Oh my God.
On,
I was thinking, like, is there any chance that, like,
come on.
Austin can play a lot of things that expose the S there, like Coleus and all this other stuff.
I see brown.
He's got to see it, right? You're seeing brownest. You're looking
You
at
have
that
to
test.
look, right?
You got it. Yeah, this is amazing. Look at all those overlaps.
He's staring at the
Beautiful.
board. Yeah, I feel like once he sees it, it'll just be insta play, right?
Oh,
Yep, there
there
it
it
is.
is.
I knew as soon as he sees it, it's insta goes down.
85-point
Nice.
response for Punit.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a very very nice play. Look at all those overlaps,
Yeah.
5 different overlapping
Nice.
plays. Well done by Punit right there.
Nice.
So that's a
Nice
pretty
play.
flashy play. Just look at the board with all that, with all those long words. This is a really nice, expert board between 2 top players here. It just has a nice aesthetic look to it to me. So anyway, Austin still doing just fine. He's not losing by that much. He's got an S. There's a big S hook with totalizes on the board. There was a debate, why needlessly create volatility? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of hooks with totalize that you could have avoided there. So
Yeah.
I
But
think I agree. I would probably not play totalize.
yeah, as
But
I mentioned yesterday, though, when you asked for the rundown, is that Austin does tend to play quite open, so it's possible, he'd rather take Punit on a nice wide open board, and I don't know, I personally would not play that, but I think that's the
yeah,
what he's
Austin's mantra is to be, scoring never stops. I don't think he cares that much about what his opponent scores. I think he's going to sit down every time he plays and expect that he has a good chance of outscoring his opponent no matter what.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is definitely, and that's what makes Scrabble so fun, is it is a little bit of a philosophical difference between how Austin plays and how you play and how Dave Wiegand plays and how I play. And I love that, right? That's what makes Scrabble so rich, to watch other people play and see how they would approach things. I try to treat it as a learning experience every time. I don't believe that I have Scrabble figured out to the maximum level, and I will continue to try to learn from players like Austin and Dave and you and everybody else at this level of play. So, yeah, but what does Austin even do here? I guess the trick is there are very few good scoring spots, and he has very poor scoring tiles. So I'm just wondering, like, is he going to try to play something under the B of brownest, or is he going to try to play something in a totally different part of the board, leaving the totalizes hook open for himself?
I mean, you can still play Bolt or whatever, and the totalized hook are still, generally speaking, open. You can't end in an S anymore, I guess. But
yeah, we should take a moment to look at Punit's rack, which, after his beautiful many overlaps bingo, he's drawn a pretty nice rack there too. He's poised to bingo with the second blank in any number of places. People are saying he might play pitchier to the R Gunir. That would be pretty good.
yeah, or Mephitic was also suggested.
Man, even nicer.
Yeah.
All right, Bolt is the play, as you suggested.
Yeah, had a feeling that was going to be coming from Austin.
Like maybe a play like just lot LOT, taking a couple fewer points on top of Begat just to make another S hook. I thought maybe that had some merit to it, just to create another spot, but I think this is fine.
I'm on board with what you're saying.
So yeah, I mean those plays are so close on the scoreboard that it really does become more of a stylistic thing. But the T of Bolt opens up a little bit heavier hitting, pitchier than before. Now it's going to score 88 points compared to 80 to the R of Gunir. So, and then Austin's going to bingo again. So this is going to be a wild start to this game.
Yeah, and it, noting that now this is Punit opening with 4 bingos. He's now more than, I think, halfway to the record of most bingos in a row to open a game.
Well, it's 4 bingos total between the players. It's the 3 for Punit.
Or, sorry, I meant three in a row. He is now halfway to the record.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
so let's see what he gets. Let's see if he can go for 4, right? So Punit is 3 for 3. He's hitting 3 for 3 with 3 home runs. Can he hit a 4th here out of the bag? Let's find out what he draws. So obviously Austin is going to cut the gap a little bit with another bingo of his own. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Puneet is slow rolling us and not looking at his tiles. We won't figure that out. All right, insulate spelled out. That's going to play to the E of begat if Austin wants it. He also has lutenist to the T of totalize. I saw that be pointed out in the chat. So a couple different options. And I think it is safe to say Puneet is not bingoing again, unless he gets more creative than I can imagine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's probably still going to score pretty well. What happens after Austin plays insulate? Assuming he does that because he's down far enough where opening the board seems justified, right?
Yeah. So if he instead of lutenist, so if Austin does indeed play that, boy, it puts an eye out in space and kind of a scary. Oh, he'll play fixed. Puneet's going to play fixed through the eye.
Yeah.
And score a boatload. So, yep. So this is a totally reasonable play by Austin to keep the board open, but it's going to be met with basically a bingo score in response by Puneet, and he's going to remain up by a ton of points. Not only that, after playing fixed, Puneet will keep CK on his rack, and I'm sure somewhere score very well on his next turn after that too. So let's see what Austin draws. Oh, too many vowels. Okay, I thought it looked like Austin might be on his way to another bingo after that, but it seems like not in the cards for him here.
No.
So Puneet,
a lot of points in the cards for Puneet.
Yeah, he sees it quick. Look at his time. He's not even under 20 minutes yet. Look how many tiles have been used. We're literally at basically the halfway point of this game, and Puneet still has 20 minutes on his clock. That'll happen if you're playing bingos, right? Like there's not a ton to think about if you have bingos that are obviously best, right? Like once you see brownest, you're going to play that. Once you see pitchier, you're going to play that. Yeah. So nicely done though. You gotta play the tiles you're given. So.
Yeah, and now Austin really needs the scoring to not stop here. I mean, lots of vowels, but he should at least be able to score some points.
Looks like he might play peanut underneath underneath fixed.
Nice, yeah.
That's a lot of points. The scoring will not stop with that play.
Yeah, Jalopix says Punit is usually a slow player. I think the last 10 times I've played Punit, I've had him either overtime or under 1 minute.
Yeah.
And he knows it too.
Yeah. That's great then. I mean, I came up in Scrabble as a very slow player. So when I was able to have games like this where I was able to bingo a lot and play quickly, it was such a relief just knowing oh man, at least I'm not going to go overtime this game. I have steadily gotten a little bit faster over the years, but definitely relate to the slow poke experience. So
yeah, I will say as someone who came up, I came up playing Blitz Scrabble on ISC. I'd played 25,000 Blitz games before I ever went to a tournament. Yes. But until when I was 14, 15, 16, it wasn't until really a couple years in that I ever used more than 10 minutes a game, which to be honest is I'm sure, for example, Scrabble, whatever the letters are, would back me up here that younger players tend to play really fast. And I eventually started to play very slowly, and now when Dave and I play at club, honestly we usually both have 12 minutes left.
Yeah. Well, there is something to be said for this idea. Wow, Austin has wiremen on his rack.
It fits. You gotta look for your overlaps.
It fits alongside totalize. Oh man, that's huge. That's going to be huge. Yeah, and I really can't imagine Puneet ever blocking that either. So that's a major lifeline for Austin back into this game. Imagine if Austin wins this game after getting hit with 3 bingos and a 60-point X play. It's not out of the question once he gets this bingo down, especially if Punit draws more eyes here. The eyes have bedeviled a bunch of players that we've watched on stream. Anybody from a background of Scrabble, Babel Royale, any word game, anybody knows how devastating multiple eyes can be. So
yeah. Now, while you were perorating about this, he took out tiles CANIK, like, you know, Canic, then took out an I, and then took out a wait for it, let's hope, and did not draw the other end because Canikin would have fit in the same spot.
Oh my.
So
Amazing.
he actually almost also drew. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been incredible. If he had fit that Canikin there. So it would have been 3 bingos, a 60-point X play, and then a Canikin bingo with that many overlaps would be unbelievable. So a good debate going in the chat about where to play for Punit. So the question is Kina. It looks like he's getting ready to play Kina's to the S of Insulate, which looks like a perfectly solid play for him for sure. It gets rid of at least one of his eyes. You know, you would love to use 2 of them here, but there's no great way to do that other than like Tiki to the T of the first T of total eyes, which that is not typically, that would not be advisable in this particular situation. It would actually be amazing, but I don't think he is likely to do that. It does not make a ton of sense. Oh, Kina and Tot is being suggested. Maybe you can, I guess. Oh, look at that. He's going to play Assini, and that is absolutely a devastating. That is a devastating play to Austin here. Yeah, interesting. I guess, yeah, there's a lot of different Kinas there. You can play it in the top left. You can play it down low through the Eye of Pitchier for the most points. You can play it to the T of Total Eyes for 28 points, doing a little bit more to defend the board. Assini is pretty reasonable, actually. I don't think of that as being much worse, if at all, than any of the Kina choices there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like it's a clear way to try to just shut down the board. You know, it really takes out a lot of space in general. There's something to be said for that when you're winning by about 100, and you know, Punit may just want to try to just clamp down on things.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense at this score for sure. If the game were a little closer on the scoreboard, you could see going for more points, playing Kina and any of the other spots.
But in the end, is it just me or that if Punit, I mean, obviously Wireman would have been played, but look what Punit drew that would have played through either one of the T's had he had the T stayed open.
Koftgari.
he blocked Koftgari on his own.
Oh my god. Unbelievable.
And look at Punit. Punit has found Koftgari too.
Well,
he's pretty close.
I think he's close, right? Maybe he's misspelling it a little bit, but yes, he's absolutely. I think he's aware that there was a word through the T. Whether he would spell it correctly, we're not exactly sure. The letters are not in the precisely correct order, but they're close enough that I think he's definitely thought of it there. So. All right, Austin plays Mew up there. Man, he's got good scoring power with that rack. He's definitely, if somehow Punit does not play through the Eye of Pitchier, Austin's going to hammer that spot with the Z.
That's exactly what he needs. In a case like that, you need a big Z play, saving a good lever, a big power tile play. The Z is obviously a good way of doing that. And then immediately try to find a bingo somewhere else. Obviously, that would open a new lane as well.
Yeah, so I would expect Punit to hit that spot here, something like Firk, which it looks like he has set that up on his rack, Firk, through the Eye of Pitchier. It really is not that dangerous to put a K out in space, and it scores a bunch of points here. So I would
don't want to put that F out in space, though.
Frenzied. Oh man, how is he gonna do that, right? Like, how could you possibly put an F there there's definitely plays. There's definitely racks where Punit would score through the I and put an F in that K spot, and Austin would play frenzied. Punit does not have a rack like that right now, unfortunately for Austin. So nice play for sure. Ferk, 45 extra points for Punit. He's up a lot in this game. So yeah, now Austin will have to content himself with
Zia
something.
For 32.
Zia for 32 looks fine.
Like he's got Zia for 32, yeah.
You could play parallel to Bolt as well if you want to play something like Zine down there as well with Zoe. That's another idea. Seems like reasonable options here with the Z. But again, Austin really is down a lot. He's gonna. Well, I guess Punit's rack has worsened quite a bit, so I don't know. It's I think this is still firmly in command for Punit here, but we'll have to see. Let me get the tracking up for you guys. Stand by.
Interesting note from Joel there, noting that you could play Koa, setting up the F. You know, AR would set up ARF for a bunch of points.
Oh, how interesting. That's a very, very creative play. Like that a lot. Confixed is still in play. Yeah, Jalapik mentioned it earlier, but it's no less possible now. Oh wait, it is. Where are the C's? The C's are played, so it's not possible. But other than that, it's not, the C's, the C's and blanks are all gone. But other than that, it's still possible.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, which there aren't. So yeah, Austin.
Jalapik thinks 3 blanks there.
Yeah, unfortunately not. No 3 blanks. Maybe Scrabble will get innovated in the future and we'll have 3 blanks and 5 S's and stuff like that. Expansion tiles. Like new Magic cards. So yeah. So we'll just have to see which Z play Austin opts for. Not sure where he'll go. He's having a good think about it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Totalized and Dizen. That could be
or
nice.
Totalizing and Frenzied.
Yeah, right. Archaic past tense of totalize.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Dizen seems pretty reasonable just because it gives you an unlikely shot, but still a shot to get back into the game. Austin has plenty of spread to play with as well, so he can afford to lose by a little bit more should he decide to go for a miracle win, unless Dave Koenig should happen to get a second tie at some point, or Austin should happen to get one himself.
True. Yeah, which, again, the ties are quite difficult to come by in Scrabble. Certainly compared to chess, where it seems like draws are the order of the day a lot of the time. At the World Championship in chess, at least not this year, but the previous, between Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano Caruana, the 2 players literally drew every game headed into Armageddon. So, yeah, we did point out Zine there, I think I mentioned it.
We was like the first thing we mentioned.
So, and okay, Z is going to be the play up top, maybe. Austin's put it on the board, and that's it. He's committed that play. So it takes, I mean, there's a bunch fewer points there, 32 to 41 for Zine or Zine. But maybe keeping the N increases that bingo percentage enough that it's close in valuation. I don't know. I think I would go for the points here. It feels like 10 extra points is pretty good, but nice rack for Austin here. Where does this? I'm sure this fits somewhere, but yeah, like donaries. But does it fit in any of the good spots? Like exciting. the M or the that's not terrifically exciting. He really needs something from the M or K here, which I don't. Yeah. Not sure he has.
Miss Durner. or
Sure, yeah.
Kindros.
Great suggestions for sure. As Punit very quickly, I mean, reports of Punit being a slow player are greatly exaggerated, I think. So
Yeah, I'm full of it. I said that Ben and Dr. Bing would play fast and that Punit would play slow. So what do I know? We would see Donaries as a potential here for Austin. And
stand by, let me get these scores up. Austin has more points.
Yeah, it looks like Donaries seems to be the thing, right? Retiniads? No. Disorient? No. Is
Yeah,
there a
that's
10 for the A and the T and the I?
yeah, it's a disappointing bingo here because 65 points is definitely need more than that here. So hold on.
Yeah. I guess there are still enough tiles that he'll get another draw, if another full rack, but I don't know what Punit has against Sue. I don't know why you want to avoid Sue, but I guess that's his problem.
Yeah.
Sue, we miss you. We miss you at this event. Hope to see you to Sue soon.
To see you soon.
Yeah. To see you soon, Sue.
Yeah, Austin's probably just looking all around and saying, "Can I really do no better than 65 here? Because that's not likely to be enough." But maybe
not only that, it blocks the M too, right? Like it blocks his most fruitful lane.
Yeah, you need to figure out a way. Obviously, there is no way. But Austin's saying to himself, "How can I bingo and leave that spot open as a potential threat?" I don't think I mean, he's going to have to bingo when eventually he sees that. He probably already sees it, frankly, but he will eventually have to get this down. And then what will Punit do, I guess? He has that S is going to be nice. Avoid Sue. I mean, it's not, I don't know. It's not going to be that many good scoring spots that I'm seeing on this board. Certainly not after Donaries. Ironically, something like movies would be, or moves.
Right. Yeah.
Would be perfect for Punit, but that's not going to be in play after Donaries blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, he can play Suave and totalizes, open up a triple.
Yeah. Oh wow. I mean,
I'm kidding.
If you're Austin, right? Like if he was in Austin's shoes, that might start to make sense, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Punit will do that just for the content, just to give us things to dig into.
Just for the content. Oh, after Donaries, it will give him the anagram of Avoid Sue, which is if Dave were to be up to no good, he would be Davius.
Or just like an archaic spelling of devious.
Yeah.
Davius.
Yeah. There's Daevious or Davious. Either one of those are valid.
Yeah, they're anagrams. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. So that's what I've come up with. Really, the point being that neither of us know what he should actually play.
Yep. Okay, so Austin correctly finally deciding that he doesn't have anything better than this, and that is his only bingo here. So he's going to cut the gap quite a bit, 343 to 394, but that's still in that zone where Punit is up by 51 and should be able to score something like 20 points. And really, Austin, let's just look at the tracking from Punit's point of view in just a moment. I'll show it to you. And you can see from Punit's point of view, he's mostly worried about Austin drawing something crazy from the K of Ferk. And look at this unseen pool. Not very good. right? Look at that.
No. He did draw
Why
a bingo, but good
Oh
luck playing
man,
it.
that's actually he drew stunningly well given the
Yeah.
people actually, and I don't see Puneet doing anything that will possibly give Austin
No.
a chance to play a raid here. So still in good shape, but I guess Austin is like with that as his starting point. If Puneet uses the U and draws the Q, he could be in a bind, right? Like, well, there is a U of insulate, I guess. But
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Good point from Deldar182, who suggests that Liard is an available play for Austin and
Oh,
unlikely to get blocked.
yeah, very unlikely unless Puneet plays something that I wouldn't expect, like what, Yuva or something on top of Gunir. That would be I wouldn't imagine Puneet putting a letter into space here. I don't think Yuva is going to be what he plays. He'll play something else. But this is not a clear-cut position. I mean, there's no great scoring play available to Puneet. Puneet would definitely want something scoring, 30 here to stay ahead of any subsequent bingo. Anything other than bingo to the triple from the K, like a 30-point play would outpace it.
Yeah. I mean, you could really say that like last year was really really 2020 was a dark year.
Nice. Oh, I may be a boomer that's getting tired from streaming for however long, but I can still look at the board and see the pun. Dark year through the K. Shout out to those who have seen a feared from the F of Ferk making the totalizer hook. That's very, very nice. Liard is still definitely better. Just to use up that Y and put the very dangerous D out in space with an E in hand for an ED hook.
Yeah.
So for an ED bingo, I should say.
Well, you started to pick up OU.
Oh man. Is he gonna? So the joke play of OU, of OU off of the R of Gunir being potentially the only play that lets Austin play a raid. I don't think we're gonna see that. Funny suggestion though. Yeah, I guess you could play like
just devious.
Devious would be hilarious. I mean, honestly, I would consider literally playing something like I would be hesitant to play my U, but I would want to at least try to keep my A if I was going to do that, so I can play Qua through the U of insulate. I am a little worried about drawing the Q here if I'm Puneet. But maybe otherwise something like Natalie Zed calls out what I was about to say, just outa through the T of insulate, right? Like you have too many vowels. You can use 3 vowels here and score 17 points.
Yeah. But do you want to use that many vowels when you're looking at that pool? I don't want to use that many vowels in a million years.
At least you still have 2 on your rack. I mean, I agree.
Yeah, but you're blocking your QI draw. I mean, there are other spots to play QI that are less enticing. I don't know.
It's a tricky situation for sure. I mean, Punit is still in really, really good shape here. I think he is very likely to pull through in this game. I have to imagine that he's still going to do well. I guess if you really are scared of the Q, you could play Ova instead of Yuva in that spot with or on top of Gunir, just to make absolutely sure that if you draw the Q, you have a nice wieldy set of letters to use with it. And there's Auda, which I think is a reasonable play. But as Conrad said, the downside here is what if Puneet draws like QJ something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
QJ something would go a lot better with your leave of EISU than other stuff. And Liard is going to really crush here.
Yeah.
So
Puneet himself now has an outside shot at drawing a bingo. Let's
That's
forget.
true.
He does have a decent leave.
Puneet could draw a bingo too. So he draws. Wow, QU out of the bag.
All
so
right,
that's all right. I think Puneet
seems seems good enough.
It seems okay.
Yeah, unless Austin himself looks like Punit is holding here.
Oh,
Makes sense if you wanna think
yeah,
about it for a sec. No
those
rush for Punit.
5 points matter. All right, let me get you guys
Yeah.
to tracking because this is starting to be important to see that. Um, so Austin is sitting on AER, and he is going to have some combination here. Puneet does not challenge, I don't think. Players conferring about something. So there's 3 tiles in the bag, and Austin has the only 2 vowels left. So just looking at that pool, you can see Puneet's actually done very well to draw at least the U along with his Q here.
Yeah. So it'll
Um,
really kind of come down to what Austin draws here, I suppose. There's a miracle to be had. This is when it would be.
yeah, somebody, you guys are pointing out just playing quins at the bottom, making bolts or something like that. That would score 41. It doesn't look like there's a ton that can even hit that. Is there something? Let me see. You hit. So to the D of Liard with this pool, ADEHJLMRVY. I'm not even sure there's an 8 there to worry about. So we'll have to see. Puneet's got 7 minutes to think about this. Oh, still on hold. Austin should draw some tiles and start thinking. Yeah, so anybody watching, the rule that in tournament Scrabble, when you're thinking about challenging your opponent's play, you simply say the word hold to them after they've made their play and hit their clock. And then if you decide to challenge, you neutralize the clock and head on over to the challenge computer. But you can't just hold indefinitely and force your opponent not to draw tiles. After a certain point, I think it's like 10 or 15 seconds, maybe even less now. If your play is being held by your opponent, you can still draw tiles out of the bag and take a look. So Austin finally doing that, which I think is well overdue. That he should get some time, or maybe he's not. I think he just was fixing his tracking. So anyway, Austin is well within his rights to draw new tiles here, but he's choosing not to. And Puneet is just gonna take a good look. And I think he's going to eventually correctly decide that there really is no threat of a bingo here from Austin. So he can do almost anything he wants. Head mark. What's this? Catch up. What's this? I'm behind on something. Sorry. Oh, where he has tiles? Why hasn't he looked? I don't see on his rack. Am I crazy? I only see AER on his rack. So why isn't he looking at them? I don't care if he's drawn them. He needs to look at them, right? Like the point is he needs to start looking at them and see what they are. I don't care if he's drawn them. Look at them. You're allowed to look. You're allowed to look. Just separate them on the rack.
Or get a second rack.
Just don't mix them with your tiles. Yeah, well, you can put them on the rack so that we can see them. Why are you guys so crazed? I don't understand. I don't get it. We'll just chalk it up to a misunderstanding. Shelly's upset with me. I don't understand why. So
I left for like 1 minute, and all the interesting things have happened apparently, except no actual Scrabble.
like you are well within your right to put those tiles on your rack and separate them from your other tiles. That is the rule. I have done it 1,000 times. You don't have to mix. I set them off to the side on the rack so they're not mixed. Oh, well, then I'm breaking the rules every time if that's not the rule. Nobody's ever given me a problem with it. So, all right, let's not worry about that any further. Okay, thanks guys. Appreciate the love from you all.
I think I'm back now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I think my internet died for a minute there, as I had to step away for a minute.
So yeah, Puneet. Oh wow, markedly. Yeah, that's technically possible through the K. Wow. Oh.
Haymaker,
Oh
haymaker.
man, he got close. He got close.
Oh,
Yeah, he got close to markedly.
yeah,
Change that H out for an L, which was there. That was there.
yeah, yeah.
So there was a possibility here. Oh, well so putting the S down, so that blocks markedly, right? Quinn's blocks that there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No possible
I don't think anything is
Quincy play.
left. Yeah, Quincy, I don't think fits there. So, anyway. All right, cool. So, nice play by Puneet. That correctly, I think. Well, hold on a second. Look at his rack.
Wow.
This isn't. Wait a sec. This is
Huh.
not. This is not like a cut and dried obvious win for Puneet here. JELVV is pretty gross. I think there is a pretty good chance that Austin can figure this out here. There are not going to be that many places for Puneet to play all of these letters. My gut feeling here is that Austin can win this. Am I crazy for thinking that?
I don't think you're crazy. Oh no, because he's got Hay lined up already. Does he have an outplay after Hay?
So where even can Puneet can play his J on top of Liard, right? So JAR. That's a place to play, but that leaves you with ELVV. So if Austin plays, so Austin's going to potentially play Hay and Oni, right? Is that what we're pointing out?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's that. And does that set up? Does that set up? He needs to set up an outplay, right?
After that, what I guess you have to play your J, and then you would play Dram and Totalized.
Oh right, Totalized. Duh, I forgot about Totalized.
So this is
that is that enough?
Oh man, that's insane. Holy crap. Yeah, sorry, hold on. So the score of this game is accurate. It is currently 452 to 394. So Austin has this beautiful flexible rack of tiles, and Puneet has JVV. So I feel like this is a shocker. Punit was up the whole way. He bingoed 3 times, hit an X bomb, and then just hit a really rough patch of tiles. And I think Austin's going to steal this game away from him. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, Punit did not need to play what he played. Quinn's did not have to be the play. I mean, QIN, like my internet was messed up, but like there was no reason to play that many letters.
So yeah, I wonder, like, what is he supposed to keep a vowel there? Like, you have to worry, I guess it's the cost of doing business, maybe, that you're going to lose to like markedly or something like that. Or maybe is he supposed to play just like var there?
Well, think about it. If he plays QINS, he has, I mean, right, like loved.
He has
LUVVED, saving the J. I don't know. I guess like.
Yeah, keeping that U, maybe oddly, it helps you get the J off, right?
Yeah,
like
actually,
sometimes
I think Mo is right. Play totalizes and Sook, set up your I.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, without a doubt, this is an unforced error on Punit's part. It still sucks. Like most of the time he's still gonna win. It's just I think he was 100% to win before Quinn's.
Well, he would lose to markedly. After
he was in almost.
So you can't get quite to 100. Yeah, you can't get, but it gets you pretty close to 100. I don't know what else you're gonna lose there. Wow, Chess Bunzo at his first ever Scrabble tournament is 7-8 against seasoned players. That is awesome. Great job to Chess Bunzo, a streamer also on Twitch. Definitely lurking. I've lurked a bit watching Chess Bunzo learn some more Scrabble. That is so cool that he has made it out to his first Scrabble tournament and holding his own. That's super impressive. Lots of first timers. Again, I'm really excited by that. Best 4591 says, "Do you think Auda might have been a mistake?" Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I think in hindsight, I mean, there is this like Scrabble thing where you look back at the actual outcome of the game and you say, "Oh, that must have been a mistake." And a lot of the time that's mistaken, right? Like you can make a good play and get burned for it, and the play was not a mistake just because you got burned. But in this case, Auda playing 3 vowels into a pool that has so few vowels remaining. You can see, yeah, as David Eldar, former world champion, hello, David, in the chat, is saying this is why Auda can burn you.
Yeah, and note that if you went back in the chat, you would hear us also saying, even from the beginning in this case, we did say, maybe not.
Yeah, I think Yuva or Ova, if you want to guard against a Q draw even more, you can play Ova, and then when you pick the Q, it's not as bad, or you can just play Yuva and have a better leave anytime you don't have the Q. So one of those two plays, even a bingo to the A, is so unlikely, and you can withstand it a lot of the time once you score well afterwards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the general consensus is that Avo or Ova, it surely would have worked out better in this case because it blocks Liard, right? Like that's the fact that Austin was able to get Liard down is amazing. Sorry. Let me get the score. Really important that we get this score correct.
Yeah, if this were still the correct score, then I think Punit would still hang on.
Yeah, I apologize. So this is the score. So the score right now is 434 to 452. So you can see Austin threatening a pretty big play with totalized that there's literally no way for Punit to block. G.I. Joel says Churro just moved into first in NWL Light. Even more impressive. Not that it isn't impressive for any newcomer to do well, but Churro and Ned Oberstad about to win her first ever Scrabble tournament. Very, very cool. How many losing draws did Punit have? Yeah, definitely low odds, but they're, I mean, non-zero odds. Certainly with another V. So Quinn's kept a V, right? So there's another V lurking in the pool, unseen to him. The tracking no longer necessary, by the way. The bags are empty. So, yeah, this is just like a stunner. I mean, Punit had Austin on the ropes, and Austin very cleverly continuing to fight back into this game. Yes, Best, that's correct. The one and the same. So yeah, this is amazing. So Jar is the play there for Punit as expected. It brings him to 470. Looks pretty good, except VLVE on the rack is not going to be enough to withstand Dram here for Austin, and he is going to go ahead with Punit's extra tiles by a score of 477 to 470. Amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing.